No, Mikey, no, it's so not right.
Toto Wolff thought it wasn't right that Michael Massey shafted him and Hamilton out a title, but would it be right to bring in Max Verstappen? Welcome back to Fog Racing. This channel is indeed as Minardi's chances of winning the title this season, but you know what? It can get revived, it can get rebranded and all that good stuff. But Max Verstappen, alright, looks like Toto Wolff wants him. By God, that's a ugly motherfucker. But anyway, my point is about this. It looks like he's going to replace George Russell. And I do not fucking understand it in the slightest.
No, if I was bringing him in to replace anybody, it would be Kimi Antonelli. But we know that George and Max Verstappen, they don't really get along.
Oh, so box office, I'm telling you.
Is it possible?
Mercedes are rumoured, right, would be in the best car next season. The best thing for that's Max versus George.
Could it just be that maybe because of how good Max is, does Toto Wolff think we don't need two top drivers?
It could be, right? But see what Kimi, to me,
does he want to go back to the Hamilton Bottas?
To me, what you do is you bring in.
No, but that's what worked. That's what worked for Mercedes when they had Hamilton and Bottas.
Well, Rosberg and Hamilton worked as well.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of fucking fighting in
there was, but Max Verstappen, right, goes to Mercedes. He's probably going to win the title either way, but what way does he win the title easier? If he's with Kimi Antonelli, and I think that's what they've weighed up here. But for me, what I'd like to see is Verstappen replace Antonelli, and Antonelli go on loan to like Williams or something, or Audi. Because I think he is probably still too good not to be on the grid. But I mean, Antonelli's 18, folks. We're not talking about, oh, his career will be over. He's got fucking decades ahead of him.
I'm not convinced he's great. Like,
no, I'm not saying he's great, but I think he's too good not to be on the grid. No?
Aye, alright then, aye, sure.
Oh, what do you think?
I don't know, I don't think he's... Why? Why do you think that? What is he showing? I think he's been outclassed by Russell. Big time.
But has he done much worse than what Hamilton did against Russell the last couple of years? I don't think so. Kimi Antonelli's got pole positions this season in the sprint. He's got podiums.
Good for him.
More podiums. Good for him. No, I think... No, see if you actually think... Take out the second Red Bull seat, right? Look who Kimi Antonelli's going up against. Verstappen, Hamilton, Leclerc, Piastri, Norris in a rocket ship, and Russell. Is it any fucking wonder he's not doing as good as the rest of them?
I just think he's been pretty poor in comparison to Russell.
Yes, in comparison to Russell.
Who I don't think's the best, like, let's be honest.
So where would you put Russell on the grid? Top 5?
Probably not, no.
So what you think? Do you think the Mercedes is actually really good and these two are just fucking shite?
I don't think they're shy. I just don't think that the Mercedes car is that bad. I think the Mercedes is probably faster than the Ferrari.
Oh no, I definitely agree with that. No, obviously Austria kind of looked like fucking, I don't know what happened.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Mercedes looked like they were battling the job squad. But would you like to see it? I tell you what, let's forget about Mercedes. Let's talk about Red Bull. I think we need to arrange a funeral because if Max Verstappen leaves, what are they doing?
Yeah, it's gonna be tough times for Red Bull.
What do Red Bull do if Max Verstappen leaves? Do they beg and plead to get someone like Alonso in? I don't think I think there's more chance next season of Aston Martin winning the title than Red Bull if Verstappen goes.
Have Red Bull got that? Do you think Red Bull? This could just be a coincidence, like, but the Red Bull suffer from the fact that they're just not an iconic, historic racing name, and the only way they're going to attract a top driver is by being the best car on the grid. Do you not think once Red Bull lose their status as the number one car, that's when I mean, look at Vettel. 4 world titles, and then like one season where the Red Bull weren't at the top, and he just left straight to Ferrari. Now you could say that's a coincidence.
What's that Ferrari?
But would he have left Red Bull if they were continuing to be as dominant as they were? Not convinced. And then you look at Verstappen, who seems like happy at Red Bull, and then the one season where it looks like he's going to be pipped out to the title, all of a sudden he's linked with Mercedes, and it looks like he's going to be making the move. So is there a coincidence there that when the top drivers are at Red Bull, they like being at Red Bull until Red Bull's no longer the number one team, and then They
No,
want
they,
to
no,
bail.
they certainly lack prestige. But who would you go for if you were Red Bull? If you lose Verstappen next season, you can't just put Shinoda and like Hadjar in.
Fernando.
But then I don't think Alonso would leave to go to Red Bull. I don't.
For 2026.
Yes, because what we've got to bear in mind is here, it's very easy to turn around and say, "Oh, the second Red Bull shite." Maybe the first Red Bull only works because Max is driving it.
Yeah, it's not like if Shinoda jumps in Max's car from the next race, he's going to be amazing.
And also, if Max is leaving Red Bull, he knows next year's car's not that good.
Yeah, and also like Max, if Max leaves, you're essentially getting two second drivers because they're going to be driving this fucking undrivable car that is only designed for Max.
I think what will happen is we could see
I think you can see
Carlos Sainz at Red Bull.
I think you can see Red Bull drop down the grid for a few seasons.
Oh fuck, aye, absolutely. Unfortunate for them.
Well,
but
I mean, if you look at Red Bull this season,
this could be the straw that breaks the camel's back for Red Bull. We could see Red Bull return to like the mid 2000 Red Bull.
at best.
Aye.
But when was the last time Shinoda scored points?
Bahrain, I think.
It's disgusting.
Well, in the last 20 Grand Prix, Red Bull's second driver's got like 20 points, and Max has got 297. Sauber's outscored them the last 3 races, and that's including Max. So, I mean, it's shocking, isn't it? Like,
If you take out Max Verstappen and you have two drivers that are performing at the level Shinoda's performing, Red Bull would be on course to maybe finish last in the constructors. We're not far off it.
no, they would be. I'm pretty sure they would be last this season if you take out Max's points, which is insane. Anyway, guys, that's where we're going to leave it. I think he actually will go because talks have ramped up and Russell's. Well, what about Russell? Right, you buried Antonelli. Is Russell? Where's he go? Does he go to Red Bull? Swapsies.
What our team's looking? I mean, I don't see any spots at Ferrari. I don't see any spots opening up at McLaren. I mean, there could always be a spot at Aston Martin, but
If Lawrence Stroll had a fucking backbone, he'd get rid of his son. Honestly, that's holding Aston Martin back.
it is. But I don't know. Aston Martin, Adrian Newey, will they be? I think that next year will be Alonso's last year in the sport. Unless the car's that good, then he might stick around for a couple of years. But to me, next year's Alonso's swan song, I think.
I don't know. I'm convinced Fernando Alonso's staying till he wins a fucking title.
Imagine how sick it would be though if next season Aston Martin did produce an amazing car and it was superior than every other thing, but they actually decided to get rid of Lance Stroll and they brought in someone that Alonso just couldn't compete with in his old
They
age.
brought in Max.
That'd be sick, like whoever won a title off him.
I think he'd take that. I think if you offered Alonso here, Max replaces Stroll, you'll lose the title, but you'll win races and finish on the podium loads. But then would he? Nah, I don't know if he would take that, to be honest.
Nah, Alonso would probably fancy his chances against Max.
Yeah.
He's
He's one of the few guys I'd back against him, but we'll see how it ends up, guys. Total
Because
Wolf.
it doesn't matter, right? It does not matter how dominant if you're starting second on the grid next to somebody, you can always do something going into turn one.
Yep. That's it. No, that is it, like, at the end of the day, but we'll leave it there. Will he go to Mercedes? I'll give it 80% chance of happening. That's what I'll get. What are you getting it?
I think the connection.
He's got something in his contract where if he's 4 or lower in the championship by the midway point of this season, it's like a release clause. And I believe Russell is like a couple of points behind him going into this weekend's British Grand Prix. So,
where is he currently? Third?
Yep. Yeah, so he needs to be 4 or lower.
Mental. Could we see Max Verstappen purposely
Stick it in the fucking wall.
have a poor race?
Could see it, guys. We'll see. We'll see though. This weekend, looking forward to it. Till next time.
But I tell you what, it would be harsh on Russell because he's not like he's underperformed at Mercedes.
No, he's not. But F1, you know what though? Somebody said this on Twitter the other day. F1 is all about the car. Drivers are phenomenal, right? And obviously being a better driver helps. But when was truly the last title someone won without the fastest car for the majority of the year?
Oh,
Like, I know you could argue last year, right, with the Red Bull, but when was the last?
yeah, but he managed to accumulate a big points lead, and that can decide how you play it the rest
People
of the
talk
season.
about 2003, right? But for me, the Ferrari still were probably the fastest car in 2003.
I mean, 2005, I'd say, but again, McLaren had shite reliability.
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah, but like it's like 2006, right? It's give or take that races that fluctuated, right? For me, the only year in the 21st century where you can turn around and say, "Well, he didn't win it," but if Alonso won it in 2012,
or 10.
yeah, but in 10, Ferrari had the fastest car at certain tracks, right? See in
That was
2012,
a dog, went it?
see in 2012, I think Ferrari at their best was like third best at some track at their best.
And at their worst, they were like 6th, 7th.
Which, yeah, that'll never happen again.
No.
The only way it happens again is at like the beginning of a new regulation, and like the three best teams are like midfield teams with shite drivers, where like the cream of the crop drivers can somehow
Could be
do.
Red Bull next season.
It could be Red Bull next season, you don't know. But anyway, that's where we're going to leave it. We're talking shite here. Max Verstappen.
The sun not right, Mikey.